Okay, so this is break tag. So within the paragraph, which four tags we have seen? The strong tag, which is bold. Okay, if you want to make any line or word break group of words to be bold, you will put it inside the strong tag. Then we have seen emphasis tag. Emphasis tag is used for making the text italic, right? Then we have the underline tag. So let me put the underline tag. So suppose if I go over here and underline tag is U. So letter U is used for the underline tag. So see, you can see video is a bit lagging. I have already completed, but you can see whatever I have done. So inside this U tag, I will copy paste certain text and put it inside. Those text will appear as underlined. So these are the four tags that are normally used with the paragraph. Which are they? Strong for bold, M for italics, U for underline, and BR for breaking the paragraph and starting the text on the next page. If you press enter, okay, nothing will happen. You have to use BR tag. Now BR tag is a unit tag that doesn't have any closing tag, but the rest of the tags are have the closing tag. Fine. So correct. So this is what we have learned. These are the text elements. So from today itself, this is the normally 90% of the time. These are the tags, okay, normally used with the text element. H1 to H6 and E tag, and then this strong TM, U, and VR, and these tags. Right? So these are the 95% of the time. These are the only most frequently used tags for the text content. Okay. Now there are attributes that which are there are so many attributes that you have to work with the text element. Correct. Fine. So let us move to the next concept. Okay. And that next element is attributes. Now, what I have told you that suppose I want to change the color of the text. Now there is nothing inside the p tag which I have not taught you how to change the color. So here color, whether the color is a property of a particular object or whether it is a individual object, you say na the color of a particular object, right? So color is normally a property, right? So it is an attribute of a particular element or entity inside the web page. So color is not a tag. So color always acts as an attribute or property of a particular tag. So HTML elements also have, similarly, the HTML elements also have the attributes. So these attributes defines the additional information about the elements. So an HTML element can have many attributes. Okay, all HTML element can have many attributes. Attributes such as color, height, width, okay, margin, padding, etc., etc. Many of these attributes are CSS attributes, I have told, and normally these attributes are worked inside the CSS document. So unless and until we work with the CSS, or many of these attributes we will not understand. And many attributes are worked inside the HTML also, right? So an HTML element can have attributes. Okay, one of the important attribute that HTML element have the style, and this is the style attribute has several CSS properties. Okay, so style attribute we have, then we have source attribute, width attribute, height attribute, right? So these attributes are, while color is not an attribute, it is a CSS property, right? But it comes under the style attribute. Okay, there is a difference between attribute and property. Normally CSS attributes are called as properties and the HTML attributes are called as attributes. Okay, normally we know attribute and property mean the same, but in the HTML and CSS, attribute means attributes of HTML, while when we talk about property, it becomes the CSS property, right? So attribute provides the additional information about the element. Attributes are always specified in the start tag. So whatever the start tag we have, if you want to put certain attribute, you have to put it inside the start tag. Right? So attribute usually come in the name value pair. So how do we specify the attribute? You first specify the name of the attribute and then its value inside, normally inside the double quotes. Okay. So they are separated by the equality symbol. So here you can see this is one image tag. IMG means image. So if you want to have an image inside your document, you will use the image element. And this image element is a uni tag. Okay. So this image tag has embedded an image in HTML page. So this source attribute specifies the path to the image file to be displayed. So this image tag, what it tells the browser, I want an image, but the browser should know from where the image should be taken. So you have to specify the source of the image. And normally that source is a file, either a JPEG file, okay, or PNG file or BMP file or whatever GIF file. Okay. So this is the source of the file. So image tag says to the browser that I want to display the image, but from where that image should be taken, that is shown by the attribute, source attribute. SRC here stands for source. Okay. IMG stands for image. Image tag, source is an attribute of the image tag. And here I am in the, this is specified as the name and value. So name is the SRC, that means attribute name. And then equal symbol. And then in the double quotes, you specify the value of the attribute. So your value of the attribute is a file name with extension. Okay. So here in my image tag, I have a source attribute which points to a source of the this image, and that source of the image is a file. Okay. img girl.jpg. This is a file. So in addition to this source, there are other attributes also. For example, this image, you can specify what is the width of the image to be displayed on the page. So it is 500 pixel. Height is 600. Now here 500, 600 means here pixel. It's implied that it is a pixel. Now all of you may be aware of the term pixel. A single dot on the screen is called as pixel. So you may be तुम्हाला सगळ्यांना माहिती असेल resolution काय आहे. So you may be aware of the pixel. Right? Pixel means dot on the screen. So here we have this those many dots and those many vertical and horizontal dots. So that is what becomes the resolution. For example, 480 by 360 or 500 by 600. That means horizontally we will have 500 dots and vertically we will have 600 dots. So that will be the size. So one dot on the screen is called as a pixel. Okay. So that is very normal, tiny. You can't see it with the naked eyes because the resolution is very high. Okay. So this is a, so let us not go into those things. Let us stick to this concept of attribute. So I guess you have understood the concept of attribute. So here source, width, and height. These are attributes of the image tag. Right. So let us use this image tag and we'll have one image put inside our. So what I will do, I will remove the headers. Have some heading. And this has a little paragraph. After this paragraph, suppose we have one image. So how do we put the image inside our, how do we put the image inside our HTML document. For that, we have to use image tag. Image tags is img. It is a unit tag, so we will not have a closing tag for this. So it is a unit tag. We don't have a closing tag for that. So within this img, now this will display the image, but obviously you have to provide the image, right? How do we provide? With the help of source attribute src. The source is source spelling sr, right? So immediately the moment you press the equal uh, sign, you will have the so many files that are available in your folder. Automatically emmet will, sorry, bracket will show it to you. So out of that, the background photo that I will be or rather I will place my picture or background picture, right? So these are the two files, background photo and mypic.jpg. These are the two picture files or image files I have. If I put them here, so you can see the moment I put it over there, you can see the image has appeared over there. Just make it big. So this is a quite big image. Correct. So if I want to display it within a very limited area, then which attributes I have to set? I have to set width and height. Yes, we have just seen. So let me say width is 300 and height is it is let's say 250. Or let's say if I again reduce the width by 100, you can see. So it is very instead of that, let's say 100, 110. Okay. Obviously, the aspect ratio you have to maintain, right? If you don't, if you are working with the width and height, you have to be very careful because aspect ratio, you understand what is aspect ratio? Every file has, image file has a resolution, right? So resolution, the first value of the resolution indicates horizontal width, in horizontal number of pixels, and the second number in the resolution indicates vertical number of pixels. So if you divide your first number with the second number, what you will get is the aspect ratio. So whenever you are specifying the width and height within the web page, you have to maintain that aspect ratio. So here I have broken the aspect ratio because this has become the square, which is perfectly wrong. So the height should be always less. So I think this is 75 will be the perfect because the aspect ratio will be near to that. Okay, so now it is appearing proper. Okay, so in this way, using height and width, you can uh, less or increase or decrease the height and width of your image, which you are displaying on the. Actually, the file is very big, but you are restricting the area within which you are supposed to display that particular, right? So suppose I will once again I will show. Suppose I want to include another paragraph. Okay, I will include another paragraph. So I will type just lorem, 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 and then I will press tab. Automatically, Emmet will create the paragraph. And after this paragraph, suppose I use the image tag, right? src quotes, and this time I will pick another picture file that I have available. Okay. So here it will appear. So this is quite big. So again, here we will height and width will be let's say 75, and so here if you can observe, I have specified only the width. The height it has taken automatically. So the by default browser will if you don't specify the height, it will take it will try to maintain the aspect ratio. So here height is set to 75, but sorry, width is set to 75, but I haven't specified the height. But still the browser is intelligently trying to maintain the aspect ratio of the original file. right? So, but here if I give the wrong height, what will happen? Okay, it will deteriorate the image, right? So this is sometimes it is intelligent to give not specify the height, but obviously this will differ whenever you are dealing with the different types of screen or sizes of the screen. For example, here I am working on the laptop. Okay, maybe my screen size is bigger when I work with the television set. Okay, maybe my screen size is very less when I am dealing with the tablet or mobile phone. So obviously, all such things which we need to consider, because our client or our user will visit or view our web page on any device, and that device may have the screen size from a larger screen to the small mobile screen. Right. So everything we will take care of, and how to do that we will understand in the subsequent section. So at this point of time, we should not worry. So this is what is uh, different types of elements. So these are the most frequently used elements. The text elements, out of this text element, the header element as well as paragraph element, and then the image element. So these two elements, image and text and header, so image, paragraph and header, these 80% of the content of your web page, okay, whatever you see, okay, are made up of either image or a text, right? So that's why these are important. And you have many attributes and properties, CSS properties, which are associated with this tag. And in the subsequent sessions, we are going to learn. Right. Obviously, this, whatever the HTML document we have created, it is not at all a good looking document, right? It is very, very, very rudimentary or very primary. Okay. So obviously, how to make it beautiful, that is what we are going to learn in the next session. Okay, that is CSS, cascading style sheet. As we have learned, HTML only gives the structure of the web page, while the CSS decides the look and feel. Okay, okay. So let us move towards that. Okay, fine. So I hope you have understood this part. Right? So one more alt attribute we have forgotten. Now, suppose many times what happens, the image that is displayed on the web page is not available on the client's computer. See, here I have the image. I am a developer of this page, and this image is available on my computer, and I am putting directly over here. But when you are designing the real web pages, which you will be putting on the server, most of the time these images are stored inside the server. Rather, those are images which belongs to another website or which belongs to another location. So in that case, normally you put the URL inside that as a source. So here in that case, URL, okay, it may be possible that that particular server or from the location from where you are fetching that image may be down. So image is not available. But, or rather, by any reason, if the image is not available to the browser for displaying, so what will happen? Suppose I make here the mistakes. What has happened? See, immediately you can see what has happened is, instead of image, okay, there is some lag. I will wait. See, now you can see what has happened. The moment I created some spelling mistake, okay, that particular source is now not working for the browser. Browser cannot find this bk ground, whatever the image name we have provided, png file we have provided. So what has happened? It has displayed the placeholder, but but normally it is a good practice that you display over there some alternative text, so that the blind people, uh, they are not able to see whether it is a text or image. Okay, so whenever the blind people visit website, there are particular readers which reads the web pages for them, and those readers require, and obviously they cannot read the image, right? But for that reader, normally you have to specify the alternative, that is, you specify the uh, name of that particular image. So here I will say background image. So you may find that various website, okay, have a meaningful name given to the file. So this alt attribute works for that. Okay, so whenever this image is not available, okay, this alternative text will be displayed over there, background image. So the user or the visiting client will come to know, okay, this image is not available, but it is actually was some background image or something. Or any blind person, for those the reader will recognize, okay, this image is a background image. It will read out this alt text to the that particular person. Right. So this was one attribute that we have covered. That is alt. Alt means alternative text, alternative to the image. That is normally a text which describes what that image is all about. Right. So here also I can put the alt as my photo or whatever it is. Correct. So this is alternative tag or alternative attribute. Right. So the moment that file is not available, okay, browser will display the alt text over there. Good. Fine. So I think today we have covered a lot of things. Okay, don't get overwhelmed by the amount of information we have uh, gone through today. Don't get overwhelmed by that. We'll have sufficient amount of time to practice this. Okay, hands-on with the help of exercises that I will be posting on the YouTube. But obviously, YouTubeवरचे जे व्हिडिओज आहेत ते तुम्ही जस्ट पिक्चर बघितल्यासारखे बघायचे नाही. राईट ते युट्यूबवरचे व्हिडिओज एक्सरसाइजचे आहेत. दॅट मीन्स यू हॅव टू परफॉर्म दोज एक्सरसाइजेस अँड सबमिट. मी तुम्हाला आधीच सांगितलंय की आपण प्रोजेक्ट कॉम्पिटिशन घेणार आहोत ऍट द एंड ऑफ दिस कोर्स. द आउटकम ऑफ विल बी द प्रोजेक्ट कॉम्पिटिशन आणि त्याच्यातनं आपण 3 विनर आपण डिसाईड करणार आहोत फर्स्ट आणि त्यांना प्राइजेस पण देणार आहोत. फर्स्ट प्राइज, सेकंड प्राइज, थर्ड प्राइज. राईट. बट इन ॲडिशन टू दॅट आपण बेस्ट पार्टिसिपेंट्स पण काढणार आहोत आणि त्यांनाही आपण बेस्ट पार्टिसिपेंट्सचं सर्टिफिकेट देणार आहोत. कदाचित आपण प्राइज पण घेऊ, त्याच्यावर अजून विचार केलेला. तो मला असं वाटतं की प्रत्येकाने त्यांची असाइनमेंट जे आहेत मी सांगितली त्याप्रमाणे कशा असाइनमेंट सबमिट करायच्या, कुठं करायच्या ह्याच्याबद्दल सुद्धा मी व्हिडिओ तुम्हाला करून दाखवेन. तो तुम्ही बघून त्याप्रमाणे फॉलो करा आणि असाइनमेंट्स सबमिट करा. आणि प्रत्येकाच्या असाइनमेंट्स मी स्वतः चेक करणार आहे. आणि सो डोंट थिंक दॅट यू विल गेट अवे विदाउट डुईंग एनी असाइनमेंट. तुम्ही हे कोर्स करताय, शिकण्यासाठी करताय आणि तुम्ही पैसे भरलेले आहेत. सो आय एक्सपेक्ट दॅट ऑल ऑफ यू डू द असाइनमेंट्स रेग्युलरली. आणि मी युट्यूबवर ठेवण्याचं कारणच हे आहे की तुम्ही तुमच्या वेळेप्रमाणे ज्यांच्याकडे पीसी नाही, लॅपटॉप नाही, त्यांनी कॉलेजवर येऊन ओके त्या असाइनमेंट्स पूर्ण करणं मी एक्सपेक्ट करतो. ठीक आहे, असं म्हणूच नका की माझ्याकडे कॉम्प्युटर नाही, माझ्याकडे लॅपटॉप नाही. आता तुम्ही सीएसईला आहात, तुमच्याकडे असायला हवा. नसेल तर घ्या. जर शक्य नसेल तर कॉलेजमध्ये या. कॉलेजमध्ये लॅब्स आहेत, तिथं भरपूर कॉम्प्युटर्स आहेत, तुम्ही इथे बसून करू शकता ते गोष्टी. राईट. बट डोंट से दॅट आय कॅन डू द असाइनमेंट. त्याचा काही उपयोग नाही, तुम्हाला काहीच येणार नाही. आणि दुसरी सेकंड थिंग तुम्हाला एक सांगू इच्छितो की हे स्किल फार महत्वाचं आहे. टुडे नावडेज एव्हरीवन नॉर्मली हॅव द, जसा पूर्वी एक प्रत्येक बिझनेस करणाऱ्याचं एक व्हिजिटिंग कार्ड असतं, राईट. तो व्हिजिटिंग कार्ड देतो. ठीक आहे. आता ह्या पुढे प्रत्येक बिझनेस करणाऱ्याचे स्वतःचा एक मोबाईल ॲप असणार आहे किंवा स्वतःचं इंटरनेटवर त्याचं साईट असणार आहे आणि त्याच्यावर तो विकणार आहे, ऑनलाईन शॉपिंग असणार आहे. आता हे दिवस जातील काही दिवसांनी की जेव्हा तुमचा स्वतः तुम्ही फ्लिपकार्ट आणि अमेझॉनवर विकाल. तिथं तर विकालच विकाल, पण प्रत्येकाचं स्वतःचं एक मोबाईल ॲप पण असेल. कदाचित तुमच्या शेजारच्या किराणा मालाच्या दुकानाचं किंवा भाजीवाला आजकाल सोलापुरात आहेत तसे बरेचसे की जे स्वतः ऑनलाईन इंटरनेटवर ॲप्स आहेत की जिथे ते भाजी विकतात किंवा किराणा माल. एनी बिझनेस, स्मॉल बिझनेस सुद्धा असेल, दे विल हॅव देअर प्रेझेन्स ओव्हर द इंटरनेट. ही फार जास्त लांबची गोष्ट नाही. इन द नेक्स्ट 5 to 6 years, rather it is right now it is going on. Okay, and it will spread a lot. So designing, developing websites, web pages, okay, mobile application, desktop application it is an ongoing process. Okay, so this skill, designing this user interfaces with the HTML and CSS, is very essential. Even though you are not doing job, you can start your own website business ओके, तुम्हाला सांगायला मला हे वाटेल की पुण्यामध्ये एक वेबसाईट जिथे त्याच्यामध्ये साधारणतः 7 ते 8 पेजेस आहेत, अशी जे वेबसाईट जर डिझाईन करून दिली तुम्हाला, तुम्ही तर तुम्हाला रादर 35,000 ते 50,000, 35,000 ते 50,000 इथपर्यंत त्याला चार्ज सध्या पुण्यामध्ये रेट चालू आहे. ओके, किती पेजेस असतील? 10 पेजेसच्या आसपास, म्हणजे कंटेंटवर डिसाईड होतं, बट दॅट इज वॉट इट. आणि ते डिझाईन करायला साधारणतः 15 दिवस ते 20 दिवस जातात. म्हणजे एक वेबसाईट डिझाईन जर केली तुम्ही महिन्याभरात, तुम्ही 2 वेबसाईट नॉर्मली डिझाईन करतात. तर तुम्ही खूपच इफिशियंट असाल, तर तुमची टीम चांगली असेल, तर तुम्ही महिन्याभरात 3 ते 5 पर्यंत वेबसाईट सुद्धा डिझाईन करतात एकदम इफिशियंट. आणि मग तेवढा बिझनेस तुम्हाला नक्कीच मिळतो. आणि अशा पुण्यात बरेचसे आहेत, रादर सोलापुरात सुद्धा बऱ्याचशा कंपन्या आहेत की ज्या स्वतः वेबसाईट डिझाईन करतात किंवा वेब ऍप्लिकेशन डिझाईन करतात. राईट, सो इट इज अ व्हेरी गुड बिझनेस. रादर तुम्ही स्वतःसाठी सुद्धा ह्या गोष्टी तुम्हाला एसेन्शियल आहे. युअर प्रेझन्स ऑन द इंटरनेट, रादर आवर फर्स्ट प्रोजेक्ट इज दॅट ओनली. आपल्या पहिल्या प्रोजेक्टमध्ये आपण तुमचा एक प्रोफाईल पेज तयार करणार आहोत. त्याच्यामध्ये तुमचे फोटोग्राफ्स असतील, तर तुम्ही काय काय केलं ह्याचा तुम्ही प्रोफाईल तयार करायचं, जसं मॉडेलचा प्रोफाईल असतो ना. So we will be designing our own profile where we will put our achievements, projects, resume, everything. And if time permits, we will host it on the internet also, on the Amazon cloud. Okay. And you will be happy when you will end up with such kind of profile. मी तुम्हाला दाखवेन काय डिझाईन करणार सॅटर्डे पर्यंत. Right? Right now I'm in the development of that, and we will also going to develop that. Okay, that is our first project. Fine. So let us move. आतापर्यंत जे काही शिकवलं त्याच्यात काही शंका आहे? Do you have any doubt in the concepts,
Yes,
whatever? Huh? If you have any doubts, please ask. Because now we will go for
yes,
the
yes.
next session. Yes. Do you have any doubt? Anyone? Please ask. नाही सर, आलं का इंटरनेट? इंटरनेट चालू झालं नाही? Okay, so I think all of you have understood. So let us move ahead. Many of you may find it very basic, and it is a basic, and it is essential, right? So काही जणांना शाळेमध्ये झाले असेल किंवा बाहेर कोर्सेस केले असतील, तरी सुद्धा त्यांनी असा विचार अजिबात करू नका की हे सेशन अटेंड करायचं नाही किंवा इग्नोर करायचं. ओके, बेसिक्स फार इम्पॉर्टंट असतात. राईट, सो लेट अस मूव अहेड. So now we will start the most interesting part, and this is what is the fun that we will enjoy this course for. Okay, and that is CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. Okay, Cascading Style Sheet. Why the name Cascading? Okay, we will understand later. So style sheet, the name itself says it is the styling your document. त्या document मध्ये style introduce करते. So style means color, shape, everything, the look and feel, right? So how to style the HTML element? मग तुमचा आपण म्हटलं every HTML document is a collection of HTML element. So you have to style each and every element separately. Okay, so how to style your HTML element? That is the question. So there are 5 selectors using which normally you write down your CSS document. Okay, CSS is also a file. Okay, there are other ways also to write the CSS inside the HTML, but I will not show you right now. Okay, unnecessary, that will be a confusion. I will show it later on, and that is not essential also. Okay, whatever is the required and standard practice, that only things I will be showing you. Okay, and when and where it is required other things also to tell, I will definitely tell you at that point of time, but not in from the beginning. Okay, so because that will overwhelm you, the so much information will overwhelm you, and you will not find it interesting, or you will lose your interest in that. So we will keep it simple. So how to select the HTML element in the CSS? So basically, as the HTML, we have the HTML file, we also create the CSS file. So first let's do that. Okay, so in coming to the bracket, okay, what we will do, we will create the CSS file. Okay, so here you may not be able to see the brackets editor, correct? So what I am doing is the similar way I have created the HTML file, I will once again create the CSS file, right? So I will open the file and say new, or I will press Control N. The moment I press new, okay, it will create a new file, a blank file, and it will say untitled. So I will just save it as style dot. I will press right click it and save, say save, and then the save dialog box will appear. Now the video is lagging, so I will, okay. So here I will give you the name. So normally the name of the CSS file is style, style, style dot css. Okay. The extension must be dot css, cascading style sheet. So what is the name of the file? Style, and what is the extension? Dot css. So simply do that. Now since I have already created, it is saying replace. I will say yes, but in your case it will create. So that is the style dot css file, right? So whatever the styling that we want to apply for the HTML elements will go inside this, and the syntax is very much similar to the C and C++. Okay, so don't bother, don't worry. It's very easily understood. It is just like an object notation. Fine. So we have created the style.css file within the same directory besides our HTML document, HTML file. Right. Now in this, we have to write down the CSS code. Okay, how to do that? We will understand. Right. So how to style the HTML element? For that, you have to first select the HTML element to apply the style with the CSS selector. ओके, मी मराठीत सांगतो, ज्यांना थोडं समजायला हे अवघड आहे. आपल्याला जर HTML एलिमेंट, जे HTML फाईल येतं किंवा HTML डॉक्युमेंट आहे, त्याच्यामध्ये जर आपल्याला HTML एलिमेंटला आपल्याला स्टाईल अप्लाय करायची असेल, तर आपल्याला काय करावं लागेल? आपली जी CSS फाईल आहे त्याच्यामध्ये आपल्याला ते एलिमेंट सिलेक्ट करावे लागतील. तर ते कसे सिलेक्ट करायचे? त्यासाठी आपण काय यूज करतो? CSS सिलेक्टर. ओके, so to select the HTML elements from the HTML file, so that we can apply the style to those elements in the CSS file, we have to select those HTML elements with the help of CSS selector. Okay, so CSS selector, there are 5 types of basic, mostly used 5 types of CSS selectors. Okay, these are CSS attribute selector, CSS ID selector, CSS element selector, CSS class selector, and CSS universal selector. There are other selectors also. We'll learn those later on in due course of time. But today, what we are going to learn is CSS element selector. Okay, so let me demonstrate, then you will understand what I'm saying. Okay, we will study all these, we will learn all these different types of selectors also. But today, we will learn the CSS element selector. Okay, fine. So how do we select the CSS selector element, right? So, well, from our previous video, we know that CSS is the language used to style and position element of documents written in markup language like HTML. So, CSS file consists of CSS rules. Okay, आपण जी ही CSS फाईल तयार केलेली आहे, styles.css, त्या फाइल्स मध्ये, in that files we will write the CSS rules or CSS records, right? So this CSS record or rules has 2 parts. First, the CSS selector, and the second one is declaration block. Okay, the declaration block is enclosed within the opening and closing curly bracket. The way we write down our structures in C language, it is very much similar to that. Syntax is very much similar to that. So you will not be able, you will understand it very easily, right? So this is the example of HTML CSS record or CSS rule. Okay, it has 2 parts. First part is the selector, okay, and second part is the declaration block. In the declaration block starts with the opening bracket and ends with the closing curly bracket, and within that declaration block you have several name value pairs, and these name value pairs specifies, okay, the different properties of those HTML selected element that you want to apply to. So here we are using this type of selector. What we are using? We are using CSS element selector. Element selector असल्यामुळे what will happen? The name of the selector is equal to the name of the HTML tag. The name of the selector is equal to the name of the HTML tag. So for example, if I want to apply the style to the particular paragraph, then I will use P. If I want to apply the style to a header, then I will use H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6 in the CSS file. Okay. If I want to apply the CSS style to the body tag, then I will use the body as a selector. Okay. So why this name element selector? You may be now you may have understood now. Since it is using the HTML element name, okay, as a selector, that's why it is called as a element selector. Why it is called as element selector? Because it is using the HTML element name, right? So it is using the HTML element name as a selector. So that's why it is called as element selector, right? Right. So this is one example. We have here body. So this is a CSS record or rule for the body tag, body element. This is a record or rule for the H1 tag or HTML element. This is the record CSS record for H2 tag or H2 element, right? So let us see how we specify what is the syntax for the CSS selector. Okay. So syntax goes like this. You specify, you have the selector. Selector can be of these 5 types. Okay. Selectors can be of these 5 types. थोड़ा video lagging होता है, I will wait. So selector can be of these 5 types: attribute selector, ID selector, element selector, class selector, and universal selector. But today we will see element selector. So this selector, this is a syntax. Okay, I will wait for the. Yeah. So this is a syntax. Okay. Whatever you are seeing at the top left, okay, this is a syntax. So you first specify the selector. Okay. Now since we are using element selector, this will be the name of the element, HTML element that we are applying style to. Okay. And after that, properties of those elements which we want to assign the value to. So here the property name, property will be color, height, width, okay, margin, padding, okay, border, etc. Okay, we'll learn all those properties that we can have for a particular element in the this is what is this course is all about. And then its values. Now this value can be of different types, right? Sometimes it may be a string, sometimes it may be a number, sometimes it may be a particular value. So depending upon what type of property you are dealing with, the value will be different. For example, color, you have to specify the color in a particular format. Okay, so we'll understand what that format is. Right? So here you can see the color property of the paragraph. Here this is the example. So here this is the example of element selector. So if I want to have the color and font size changed for a particular paragraph, then I will use these 2 properties: color, okay, and the value of the color, and then font size and the value of the font size. Right? So it will increase or decrease the font. Right? So this is the syntax of the property and the value. Your CSS rule. So you first have the selector, then opening curly bracket, then you have a property name, then property name is separated by the colon, then after that you have a value, then a semicolon, and then closing curly bracket. So this is similar to the our structure that we define in the C language. Okay, only difference is that here you have a colon. Right? So this is how it is declared. So let us understand this with the help of example. So come back to the bracket once again. So let us do this. So I have already created the style.css file, correct? So this to this style.css file, I will write the. So let us apply some color and font size, font properties to this header. Okay, we will change the color of this header. So how do I select this header? What is the HTML element name for this header? This is h1, na? This is h1 element. Let us check. Yes, this is h1 element. See, this is h1, and this is p, right? And img. These are the only three types of elements we have in our HTML document. So we will select that h1. So this is a selector, element selector, because we are selecting HTML element h1, and then opening and closing curly bracket, and within that we will have the color property. Color. See, the brackets will do. You don't have to remember, okay, because there are thousands of properties in CSS for different elements. It is not possible. Even an expert web developer also knows not all properties, right? Only 30 to 40 properties, CSS properties are sufficient for doing most of the tasks, but there are thousands of properties. So it is not required. So this type of bracket type of editors, normally you don't have to remember. See, it is a common sense. ना मला हेडरचा मला color change करायचा. Obviously properties नाव काय असेल? It will be a color. So you simply type color, you will understand, okay, there is a property called as color. So obviously it will be a color to that text, right? So after that you will get various types of color. So you can just go through, browse, and select any one of the color. So these are the named color. But normally, this is the one way of giving the color. So let me change, and I will select this. And the moment I give semicolon and I save. Okay. Now, but still it will not get applied. The why it will not get applied? Because the browser doesn't know the relationship between this HTML and CSS. Have you told the browser that you are going to apply this CSS styles to this HTML document? You haven't. You have to tell the browser, right? How the browser will come to know? It will not scan the entire directory of yours, and it may find several CSS files, because it is quite obvious that several HTML documents will have different CSS files, right? So which CSS file to apply? So you have to tell it specifically, right? So how to tell? Now we know how to instruct the browser. Do we write the element which gives certain information to the browser in the head tag or the body tag? We have learned whatever information you want to communicate to the browser, we have to write it inside the header tag. And we have also learned, if you want to include an external resource, okay, any file and tell your browser the presence of that file, okay, you have to use the link tag. So here also we will use the link tag. Okay, so I will use the link tag. Okay, and then I will say type is what? Text.css. Okay, it is a text file, and that text file contains the CSS rule. Okay, and then relation of this, what is the relation of this document? It is a style sheet. This relation with this HTML document for this CSS file is it is a style sheet that has to be applied. And then what you have to do? Okay, you have to give the href hyper reference to that file. So what is the file name? We have style.css. Correct? So yes, now, and the tag is closed. Don't forget to close the tag. So now my browser knows, since I have specified in the header tag, see, I am giving you the link. I am telling the browser, see, I am giving you the link, which is of type text CSS. That means it is a text file and it contains the CSS code. What is the relation of this file with this HTML? It is a style sheet for this HTML. And this is a reference. href means it is a pointer, it is an address of that CSS file, right? So here href, here hyper reference means you have to give here the URL to that particular file. Now since I am in the same directory, I am simply giving the style.css. Later on in the due course of time, we will go into the complexity how to specify the web URL and all. But right now, we will not bother about that. Now, the moment I link this file, have you observed the change over here? The color of the h1 has changed to the whatever color I have specified in the CSS. Now I will change whatever color I want. Okay. So this is the way. Okay, you can type the name of the color if you know, but normally आपल्याला मराठीमधले कलर माहिती असतात, इंग्लिश मधले सगळे. इंग्लिश मध्ये as far as I am concerned, I know very little names of the color red, green, basic colors. But there are so many colors available. You can't. What is this? Rebecca purple, royal blue, azure, demi gray. Okay, so these names are very difficult to know, and rather, professional web developer normally don't use the colors by the name. So what is the alternative? Alternative is how we have to understand how the colors work in the computer graphics. But we will study that later on. But here our problem is I have to give the color. So one way of mentioning the color is this hash, and there are 6 hexadecimal values you have to put. Now all of you are computer science graduates, so you know what is hexadecimal. I assume that you have learned it in the digital electronics. So what is hexadecimal? Hexadecimal means the number which varies from 0 to F. So the hexadecimal numbers are like this: 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then now if it is a decimal, it will end over here. Then next will be 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. But it is hexadecimal. Hexadecimal means you have 16, okay, numbers. So it will start from A, then B, then C, then A, B, C, D, E, and then F. So total how many? 16. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, 16. That's why it is hexadecimal. Okay. So hexadecimal numbers, like our decimal numbers, the symbols are from 0 to 9. But in the hexadecimal, the symbols are from 0 to F. Okay. 0 to 9 and then A, B, C, D, E, F. ओके 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 so 16 total 0 to 50 means 16. That's why it is called hexadecimal. So here I will tell you how I will teach you this in detail, but right now don't bother about this. Okay, so here I can specify the color with the help of hexadecimal. For that you have to just place the hash, then the values. So we know the pattern is RGB. Okay, so we reserve 2 hexadecimal number for red component, red channel, then 2 hexadecimal numbers for green channel, and 2 hexadecimal number for blue channel. Because every color in the universe is made up of these 3 basic colors as far as human is concerned. Red, green and blue. These are the basic colors, right? So I will use 1 1 for red, then 2 5 for observe what is the change that is appearing in the header. Okay, similarly observe the change value. So green component RGB and blue component I will say 36. So you can see if I use 0, okay, or so this is what it is. Suppose I do 0 1, okay, AF 32. So it has become this color. Okay, so it is quite magic. Okay, so red, let's say red component is AB. Okay, green component is 0 0. It is absent, and the red component is, let's say, 1 1. So obviously it is some red color, right? So in this way we normally give color in our HTML, sorry, CSS document. So this is a color property, and this is the value of the color, right? uh, if you don't want to type this directly, okay, bracket here once again comes for the help. Okay, now here you can press Control E. What I have done, I will show you. First, video is lagging. I will wait. How that particular tool has come with the color? Okay, what I have done, I have press Control, hold the Control key and press E. The mouse cursor should be on this color. Mouse cursor should be on this color. Okay, keeping the mouse cursor, keyboard cursor on that particular value. If you press Control E, this tool will come, and here you can select whatever color you want, and you can see in the right hand side how the colors, different shades are getting applied the moment I am changing the slider. And you can just go through it and whatever color you want. Suppose I want some blue. Now you select the blue, and which type of blue you want, you simply move this in the different area, okay, over here, and you will find out. Okay, I will wait, the video is lagging, and you will find out the different types of blue shades you can have. Okay. And now there is one separate session dedicated to colors because it is an art, right? And I will also teach you different guidelines and different practices, professional practices that we normally follow when we choose the color. Okay, I will have a separate session, 1.5 hour session, and several exercises. So you will be comfortable with choosing the color. Right? Don't worry about it. Just simply understand what I am doing. So this is what is the color, and this is the transparency. The moment I do it, see that text has become fully 100% transparent, and transparency bar I am changing. The video is lagging. I will wait. This video is lagging. So this bar is for the transparency. Second vertical bar is for transparency, and you can observe here the now the if you have observed over here, this is the second way in which you can specify the color. Okay, this is RGB. Okay, I will not go into the detail of the color right now, right? So second way, I will discuss it later on, but here we will stick to the particular color. Sorry. Fine. So this is what is the CSS. So understood what CSS is doing. So let me once again revise what CSS is doing. You have this H1 tag in your HTML document. Now you want to change the color of this text, theory of computers. Now this theory of computers is enclosed within this H1 tag, right? So it is an header element. Okay, which type of header element? H1 element. So whenever you want to apply any CSS style to this H1 element, okay, you have to do it in the CSS file. So we have defined here style.css, and then you have specified in the HTML file that you want to associate this CSS file as a style sheet for this HTML document. Okay, so you do that using this link element, right? So here we have done that. Okay, then in the style sheet file, we have selected that header element, H1 element, and then we have applied the CSS rule. And within that CSS rule, we have defined one property, the color property. And that property name is color and value is this color. And when we do that, and when we apply it with the proper syntax, okay, you will observe that that color of that header changes. Now, suppose we also have this paragraph over here, lorem ipsum dolor sit amet, whatever it is. So if I want to change the color and font size of this paragraph also, okay, then how to do it? Obviously, we have to first select that paragraph with the element selector. What is the name of the element? P. So we use element selector. We know it. Then opening and closing curly bracket, and then I will choose the color. Okay, and the color will be, let's say, hash ff11. Okay, so this is kind of a pink, and you can observe since we have applied the style to the entire paragraph, and since in our document we have two paragraphs, okay, both the paragraph have changed their color. In the latter section, we will see other CSS selectors so that we can specifically select a particular paragraph or particular element. We will see that later on. Let us not bow down ourselves with too much of information. It is already too much of information for you, for some of you, those who don't know what is CSS, right? So this is how I have decided the color. Now suppose I want to change the size of the font. So I don't know what is the property name, but I know font is what is the term. So I will simply say font. You will have different types. So this is font display, font family, font feature setting, kerning, size. Mara size change correct, right? So I will select this. So you don't have to remember each and every property in the CSS. It's quite common sense. So I will select that font size. Now here by default font size is 16. So let me reduce that font size by 10 pixel. Okay. So what has happened? Font size has reduced, okay, to 10 pixel. See, you can see the text is now very less in size, right? So this CSS property has been applied with the rule to that particular paragraph, both the paragraph, isn't it? Right? So this is how the CSS works. So I think too much of information for some people over here. Don't get overwhelmed by this. We will have ample practice for this. But I think you have understood what is HTML and what is CSS. The main purpose for all this explanation from my side is: have you understood the HTML and CSS? What it does, what it is all about? Okay. Using this HTML and CSS, you can design your web pages. Okay, so one by one, we will learn its uh, bits of these two languages. Okay, so I think we have 12:27 and we are nearing our end of our lecture. So I hope you understood everything. If you have any doubts, you can ask. So I will be sharing this slide also. Uh, Today I will share each and everything. Okay. Yesterday I was quite busy, so I could not share. But today by evening you will be having the previous lecture as well as these slides also, and how to get the assignments. No worries. So this is what is introduction to CSS. I hope you have the pen and paper with you, and you can jot down this if you want. I will wait for 1 minute, or rather, I will share you the slide. You can, since you will be writing this, so there is no issue. And get it help in the on the internet. Also. Plenty of resources are available. Okay. So color, so text formatting CSS attributes. Now I think we are nearing the end of the section. Actually, I have planned so much in this section, color also, but let us continue this in the next lecture, the next session. We'll stop here. Okay, so if you have any questions, please ask. Is anyone? Don't quit right now because I have to download the attendance. From the tomorrow is the last day session for the newcomers. From the day after tomorrow, what I will do, I will create one separate WhatsApp group, and or rather I will create a one class in Microsoft Teams, and those who are regularly attending, those only names, and those who have registered, those only names I will put inside that group, and those only will be able to attend my sessions henceforth. I will be doing that day after tomorrow. So tomorrow is the last day for those who want to attend the session. Okay. From day after tomorrow, I will not allow anyone who is not present in first three sessions. Yes, any doubt?
No, sir.
Fine. So we will wind up the session. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir. Thank
tomorrow at the 10:55, all of you should join the session 3, and we will have different CSS properties. We will explore different CSS properties, and that will be very very important. So be attentive. Fine. Okay. I will take you.